Hi, I am Craig Kleinsteiber, and my presentation today is going to be on Certified Pre-Owned Vehicle Program. We all know car shopping sucks. Unless you have a lot of money, most of us don't want to go out car shopping. It's usually our second largest thing that we're going to buy besides buying a house or having a mortgage is going to be buying a vehicle. So nobody likes to spend that kind of money, and on top of that, most of us are usually frustrated with salesmen and figuring out, is it a lemon I'm buying, or do I go with this option, that? So one of the stats I found was 87% of Americans dislike something about shopping at dealerships, and of that, 61% of them feel like they're taken advantage of during that transaction. So obviously not a good situation. What are our options? Well, there's new vehicles and used vehicles. New vehicles, expensive, all right, not real cheap, and then the depreciation is terrible. The minute we drive it off the lot to the first year, the second year, that car depreciates a ton. So we lose a ton of value in that car just driving it home. So not a good situation. However, we have a nice shiny new vehicle with a little warranty. So that's a pro to that. Used vehicles. Unknown histories. We don't know what that car's been through, how it's been taken care of for the most part. And then what kind of problems are we buying? Are we buying something with more problems than we're trying to get rid of? So we gotta be careful there. So most of us don't like that headache. It makes us feel a little uneasy. However, the used car's prices are a lot better than the new car. And we don't have that depreciation quite as bad as what the new car would be. Now we have a new option available called Certified Pre-Owned Program, otherwise known as CPO. So it's a like new option, but at a used car price. It comes with a manufacturer-backed warranty, which obviously gives you that peace of mind. Along with it goes through a rigorous 170.2 inspection in case of Ford. So it goes through a pretty rigorous inspection, knowing that give you a little more peace of mind that you got a good piece when you buy it. So there are 3 levels to the CPO program. We're going to kind of cover a little bit of each. So manufacturer, it starts there, goes to the dealership, and then we obviously have the customer involved at the end of the process. So the role of manufacturer is going to be set program rules and requirements, supply dealers with the CPO materials, help dealers advertise, and then monitor the program based by audits, and then help with the financing and the end of it. Program rules and requirements. Now for Ford, we have 6 model years or newer, has to have fewer than 80,000 miles on it, pass a 172-point inspection done by Ford certified technicians, and then clear a Carfax report. So anything major on there, it's a no-go, not going to be able to certify it. Chrysler, as a comparison, 5 years or newer, fewer than 75,000 miles, pass a 125-point inspection by Chrysler certified techs, and again, clear the Carfax reports, anything major on that. Most manufacturers are going to be similar to those types of years and mileage standards. Supply dealers with CPO materials, so vehicle inspection reports, sales promotions and flyers, and window stickers and signage are all going to be things that are the manufacturer is going to send to the dealership. So here's an inspection report. So this is the actual one. The dealer was so kind to give me some materials. Ford's 172-point inspection list. So it starts with the vehicle history, kind of what maintenance has been done, making sure the history is clear, things like that. Road testing it, vehicle exterior, vehicle interior, diagnostics, running a scan on the modules, making sure everything is clear. Under hood, hybrid electric, if it is, it's got another section for that. And then everything underbody, and inconvenience like having owner's manuals, keys, things like that. So it goes through pretty rigorous tests. Now, there's not an option on here for not repaired or has an issue. It either has to pass or it has to be replaced. So if it passed initially, you check that off, or if you had to repair it, you click repaired. So that means it's new on there. All right. So CPO program pamphlets, it looks something like this. Got a lot of great material inside there for the customer. Really helps the salesman sell the program. The vehicle is going to be a little bit more expensive than a standard used car, so they have to somehow put a value to that. pamphlets like this help sell that and make this a pretty good option for dealers to move the cars. CPO delivery checklist, this is something the sales staff has to go through, making sure it has all the paperwork filed, everything ready to go, clean car, gassed up, inspection done, everything signed off on, kind of a final checklist for it. Limited warranty, so the warranty that comes along with the program, this is something that's going to have to be included with all this. So help dealers advertise, so that's the next part, listed on the dealer's network, so most of them will put it on dealer network to help other dealers see what inventory is out there, so obviously they could sell it between the dealers. And then some listed on a national website, so the manufacturers sometimes help with this, something like AutoTrader and Cars.com. And then help with financing, so offer financing through the manufacturers' finance companies. So something like Ford Credit, GM Financial, places like that. Biggest thing is some of the incentives that they can offer. They do this to kind of help manipulate the market a little bit. So if they want to try moving some new cars, they know that they should probably get rid of some of these CPO cars that maybe are backed up. They have their different ways of manipulating how they want the market to move. So they can play around with that by offering lower interest rates, offering a better value to the customer. Role of the dealership, they're going to get the vehicle in, they're going to inspect, repair the vehicle, fill out all the paperwork, and then obviously sell the vehicle. How do they acquire it? Trade-in is usually the best option. A lot of times it's maybe somebody local that's been coming to the dealer maybe already, so they might know the history on it, they might trust the people. So that's usually the best option, is trying to get it from a trade-in. Otherwise, they can go to auction. Nowadays, the dealership I talked with, they said that they can actually do a lot of their homework before they ever go to the auction. So they know what year it is, or if it qualifies by the year, the mileage. It'll show any kind of Carfax reports on there. And then a lot of times these auctions will actually take pictures, and you can kind of spot blemishes, things like that, that might be a no-go on a CPO car. And then they're going to inspect and repair the vehicle. So taking care of that vigorous inspection, make any necessary repairs, dent and scratch repairs, so obviously anything body-wise, they need to take care of that to make it like new, and then complete detailed job inside and out. They're going to have to fill out all the paperwork. So Ford and Chrysler, I was at the Chrysler dealership talking to the general manager there. They had something similar where basically the manufacturer sends a nice package, basically a nice big file folder of all the different paperwork that goes along with it, and any kind of signage for the windows. So you can see here, like talk about badging, there's special badging that kind of sets the CPO car apart from the used cars. So window stickers, and then file all the paperwork, necessary paperwork that has to go back to the manufacturer. Finally, sell the vehicle. Put it on the lot, and we're going to list it through the manufacturer's website, get it on there, and then advertise it in most of their regular means of selling a vehicle. So paper, internet, things like that. Role of the customer, they got to buy it and peel out of the parking lot. Who does the CPO program work for the most? Well, the manufacturer, they make money selling the CPO program to the dealers. They make money from interest earned on the financing, so financing that vehicle, they're going to make some money on the interest, so it works out pretty good for them. Dealer makes for an easier sell as long as the sales staff shows what that extra value is. It does make for an easier sell. The dealership, that Ford dealership I was at, they try to CPO every car that comes in there if they can, so if it qualifies for it, because they really are on board, they really like the CPO program. They end up with a service customer because of the factory warranty. They got to come back to the dealership. So if they're from the area, a lot of times they'll go to that dealership. So it works out pretty good. Sometimes that becomes repeat sales business because they're in the dealership every once in a while. Maybe they see something new, gives the sales staff to shake a hand and kind of shoot the crap with them a little bit, maybe push them into a new car. All right, and there's usually less risk for the dealer. Based on the warranty that goes with the car. So they can sell the car knowing that it was a good car to begin with, and then if there is anything that goes wrong, that has a manufacturer's warranty, which is on the manufacturer, not the dealer. So kind of a little bit less risk by doing that. And then the customers, it's a good value. Price-wise, they pay a little bit more, but they're getting a good piece. It's been thoroughly gone through, up to the standards, ready to go. So you get a little bit extra peace of mind, and then obviously you get a warranty on top of that to add to that. Drawbacks of the CPO program, manufacturers, there's less new car sales. I kind of threw that in there. I don't have any data to back that up. I thought, well, maybe people are kind of going that route instead of buying a new car, but I talked to the dealerships about that, asked that question too, and they didn't really have anything to say about it. So it's just a possibility. But as of now, there's nothing too substantial. For the dealers, it costs more to certify, usually about anywhere from, well, it's $500 to $600 for them to actually put it in the certification process. And then obviously for whatever repairs that they would do above and beyond what a normal used car would be. So the one I talked to said it usually costs them about $600 to $1,000 more than a standard used car would too. And then additional tech time, you're taking that extra time doing more thorough inspection on that car, more repairs. You're kind of taking that tech away from standard customers coming through the door. So that is something that dealership told me about that they kind of factor in too. Customers typically cost more to buy than a used vehicle. But if we can understand that value, a lot of times it's worth it to most customers. So a comparison on the cost more. This one here, they're both 2017 Toyota Camrys. They both are 4-cylinders. They're both about 46,000 miles on them. This one's a certified, this one is not. So 15,242, 14,700, so we're about $500-600 off here. So not that much more. So if it was me, I would probably opt for this one, obviously because of the warranty on it, the rigorous inspection it's gone through. So obviously not too bad, but it is a little bit more money. So how do you choose what's best for you? Well, if you're tech savvy, maybe you can check a car out good. Maybe you can fix your own car. So obviously that warranty, spend a little bit extra more money on that up front, might not be important to you. So you can save some money up front. If you don't have any issues, great, it's money in your pocket. All right. So that would be one thing that you might not want a CPO car for. Warranty wise, depending on how you drive, time and mileage. So if you put a ton of miles on, let's say 20,000 miles or a year or more, then a 3-year, 36,000 mile warranty probably won't work too well because you're only going to get a couple years out of it. If you put a lot of miles on, some of the manufacturers offer a 2-year unlimited mile warranty. Maybe that's more of an option for you. You might get a little more value out of it that way. Additional perks like roadside assistance, rental cars, history report, satellite radio, free maintenance, things like that. Manufacturers offer different perks, so you can do your comparison on these and see which works out best for you. And then deductible. Some of them have a $100 deductible, some 50, some 0. So maybe you don't want to have that hanging over you every time you take your car and it's going to cost you $100. All right, so maybe you want to go with the $0 deductible. So find the manufacturer that's offering that. And then last, which is probably the most important, sales incentives. What kind of deals are manufacturing offering on financing is the biggest one. So obviously, the best place that I found to kind of do the best comparison shopping for the different CPO programs is through kellybluebook.com, and you can compare up to like 4 different manufacturers, puts them all on the screen, and you can kind of flip through and see exactly what each has to offer, and then pick out which one's best for you, what works best for you, warranty, deductible, things like that. And then you can go to that manufacturer, pick out the car that works best for you, find it, and be happy. So who does it really work for? Everybody. I think everybody wins in this. Talking to the dealerships, they seem to say customers are happy with it, they're happy with it. It's a nice fit between that used and new market. More comfortable vehicle shopping experience for the customers. They're a little more comfortable having an extra option in there. And then you get repeat customers, profitability for the dealers and the manufacturers, people coming in, coming back, coming in for service work, things like that. So it's a really good program overall from what I gathered up. So thank you very much for your time.